Most people feel that you have to have a pollinator garden in order to help the environment. But I always knew right from the beginning it wasn't right for me. And if you're over 60 also and look for low maintenance garden ideas that still support nature, this video is for you. I'm seeing so many great channels like The Middle Sized Garden are talking about an exciting trend now, which is container ponds. And I am so glad to see container ponds taking off because not everybody has the space to have an in-ground pond. So if, like me, there have been times where you almost felt guilty for not having a pollinator garden, I'm going to give you 3 solid takeaways for supporting wildlife, building biodiversity, and attracting everything a pollinator garden attracts and more. There are already tons of videos to show you exactly how to build one. So I'm not going to spend time doing that here. Instead, what I want to do is open your eyes, if you are over 60, to how great an addition this can be to your small backyard garden. Takeaway number 1, a container pond can be almost any size, which means it's perfect for any of our gardens. Anything from a small saucer to a large stock tank, depending on where you're going to put it. So first choose your spot and then look at the size that you can easily accommodate. Let me show you the smallest example here in my own garden. Here's a very tiny example in my own garden. This tiny basin is only 9 inches by 3 inches deep. It was actually my dog's water dish for 17 years, but she passed away last year and I've left it in place, and it's been such a pleasure to see birds and squirrels drinking out of it now. Takeaway number 2, by adding a container pond, your garden is going to become the neighborhood oasis for wildlife. I have the only garden in my entire neighborhood that has running water or a pond feature. And my neighbor across the back fence has bees. Her bees come over and line up along the edge of the pond and drink. So even though all of them have pollinator gardens, I'm providing something valuable that they are not. It's a win-win all the way around. I get dragonflies that lay their eggs on the surface of the pond. I get birds that are migrating. I get raccoons. I get squirrels. I get salamanders. I get frogs. I mean, the list goes on and on. So the biodiversity that you are adding is incredible. It is so much fun to look out the window and see birds splashing around in the upper level. It is so much fun to look out the kitchen window and see a squirrel drinking out of my dog's old water dish. Here's something else you can apply to get your garden certified as a wildlife habitat, because you are providing food, water, cover, and places to raise their young. So if you don't know about this, it's worth checking out. You know, another little side benefit of having a container pond is that while pollinator gardens attract beneficial insects, container ponds attract all of the things that eat bugs on the ground. So I used to have a lot more snails and slugs than I do now because my garden is attracting salamanders, frogs, and things that eat those pesky bugs that I used to spend a lot of time battling against. So that's another huge benefit. By adding a container pond, you are balancing your garden's ecosystem naturally and without chemicals. Takeaway number 3, having a small container pond is a lot less manual labor than having overflowing beds of pollinator plants. There's no digging, there's no dividing, there's no deadheading, there's no refurbishing the soil and replanting again in the spring. And if your water starts looking a little cloudy or there's too much leaf litter, you simply scoop it out and refill it with fresh water.
I hope I've convinced you to try a wildlife pond in your own garden. And if you like ideas like this, I hope you'll subscribe and join my growing community. Thanks so much for being here, and I'll see you next time.